I am back on the Varla Eagle 1 2.0 at a skate park this time, but I did make one change since the last video. I went to a twist or half twist throttle from an e-bike I had. I just didn't love the thumb throttle. This is a little more natural for me, so we'll see what I can do. I'm going to start out here by cruising around the bowl, see how it feels on the transition and some of the steeper berms here when you really get cruising around them. It's kind of like a pump track on a bike, but on this, you don't have to pump. You just have to use that throttle. Whoa, it is a little goofy. And the tire profile makes it feel a little strange when you're on the edge of it. Definitely something to get used to, but kind of fun to cruise around a little bit and act like you're really good at scootering. I think that flat profile might be really good for going fakie though. Keeps it nice and flat. You still need balance, but it's pretty fun to cruise back and forth, forwards and backwards on the little half pipe spot right here. The handlebars do get in the way with how tall they are when you are up on the top of that transition. So, whoa, that adds to the challenge. That was definitely on purpose. Totally a trick right there, but I think it's going to be a little easier here since it's not as steep. Don't have to worry about the handlebars into my chest, but still pretty difficult. I'd like to get one nice and straight up onto the bank back here and then cruise back. Pretty fun to do. Pretty good balance exercise, I would say. And it's nice how free it rolls backwards. You can get some speed going even in reverse. Now let's try some floaters and whoa, a little sketchy. The other direction. This leads me to one of my bigger problems with the scooter. You can hear that front tire landing, making some noise because it's spinning so fast. And that's one thing that holds me back from being able to do wheelies very far on this, because when you get the front tire in the air and hold the throttle, all the power just goes to the front wheel. So you don't have much power to bring that front wheel up. I'll try some wheelies, but not going to promise anything. And that is one thing that the old model was better at. I asked the company about it and they said there's a different control board in this. You can get that one for this, but it looked like quite the project, so leaving it stock for now. I could actually wheelie pretty well with the old one, even in circles, but this one is more of a manual. If you can get it up that high, then you can kind of balance it a little bit, but it is much more challenging to go very far than the old one was. I also really enjoy wheelies, so it's something I really liked about the old one, but this one is more of a manual machine than a wheelie machine, I guess. Okay, I'll go for the manual instead, I guess. Got a little bit. Definitely not as far as I would if I had that power to do a wheelie. There we go. Getting it figured out down the steps. Okay, I think that's as good as I'm going to get. Pretty squirrely. You do still get some tiny bit of power on the rear, and the front spinning definitely helps keep it up. So using the throttle still helped hold that manual all the way to the end there. Well, the power delivery is a negative for me. The brakes are definitely a positive because they work pretty well. So let's do some nose wheelies. Okay, I did some nose wheelies and some fakies, so it's time to combine the two and really test out that brake. A little squirrely there, but it's actually somewhat easy to control, or at least easier than I expected to control to do this maneuver on this unit. Definitely a weird feeling though. One good thing about these tires and having full suspension is that you can jump right out of the park into the grass. Pretty fun line there. This looks like a nice test of that full suspension. Oh yeah, handles it. Okay, that was a pretty fun session at the skate park, but now it's Hannah's turn. So we're going to cruise on some paths. Now we are on some paved path. There are a lot of paved paths around here, and this is probably where the scooter is most at home. There are some rough spots, some cracks and bumps here and there, so that full suspension can smooth out the ride and you can cruise around wherever you want to go without using much energy, that's for sure. You can just twist that throttle and have some fun. How's it feel?
Smooth.
How fast are you going?
11.
11 is a comfortable pace, but we don't want to go this way. We'll take this new bridge. This will be nice and smooth, fun to cruise over the creek. And we're on the other side, into the grass now. Oh, some fresh grass, but plows right through that stuff.
Off-road in here.
Now we're off-roading, and it probably gets a little bit bumpy, but you can definitely get around even though it's a little rough out here. The small tires can only do so much in this stuff. So she's getting bounced around a little bit, but we're still cruising. Let's see how fast you can go up this hill.
I'm 3 still.
Test that speed. She's on 3 and it just cruises with her on it up that hill.
Only on 3.
That's all you need, huh?
Oh yeah.
I see a little jump here I gotta hit. Now can it make it back up with me on it? I am in level 5 and slows down, but no problem. Now we have a steeper hill through the woods, but she bumped it up to level 5 and she's having no problem. Nice tight turn too. That two-wheel drive is definitely going to help pull up this hill when it's a little bit loose as well. And we are at the top, no problem.
Awkward with the handlebars. It's like...
Yeah, when you're on a steep hill and you are shorter, the handlebars do come back into your chest a little bit, so definitely limits the movement you have to lean forward. When you're going up a hill, it helps to lean your body weight forward to keep from falling over backwards or stopping, so that's one thing that could be better for shorter riders if it was a little bit lower or adjustable, but if it's adjustable, it probably has more slop in it. So they went with this and it works well enough, but definitely something to get used to and a little limiting how far you can move if you are shorter. And even for me, I was struggling with that at the skate park, so I'd say it could be a little lower, but you can still make it work. Oh, here we go. Now she's got to show us how good the brakes are with the nose wheelie. Oh yeah. She put her foot down though. Let's see a clean one.
Oh, that was not a good one.
Oh, you got to hold that brake longer. Nice. Now we're going downhill. See how controllable those brakes are. Looks like they should do the trick just fine. Keeps you from sliding out, grabbing too much, or not having enough. We found a Hannah-sized drop, so let's see how she handles it. Wow, actually really nicely. Where did you learn to scoot so well?
This has been my scoot machine for RC.
She has ridden it more than I have, that is for sure.
It's my little scoot pal.
Here's a look at that throttle. How you liking that compared to the thumb?
A lot better.
Yeah. Now we're on some off-road trails and it's a bit muddy, so we'll see how those tires hook up and how well that suspension does on something like this. It is pretty smooth, but I'm sure she can still feel some of those bumps, and there's a few rocks, so probably going to feel those, but it seems like it should be smooth enough that the suspension can do its job well enough, because she's cruising and I'm having a hard time keeping up, but it's fun to chase her on my one-wheel device. I guess we're going to find out if it's waterproof too. And now we have some gravel, so we're getting a little bit of everything on this ride. Some nice new trails we didn't know were developed this far, so it's been fun to explore around a little bit. So you have just ridden it on every terrain. Which one is the best for it?
I would have to say the Smage, just because it's not as like jerky, the best way to put it. This is really nice though too. Other than that, the off-road terrain, it still handles well, but it can be a little bit hard on the body, I'm not gonna lie. But the suspension does soak it up.
Now we're going to really test Hannah's scooter skills with some fakies. And not quite locked in, but decent. I think she can get a pretty good one. Whoa! One footer. Cool style.
Thanks. I'll take that.
Oh, that was pretty good. You went way up there too. I didn't expect you to go so high.
That kind of scared me, I'm not gonna lie.
Testing those reverse brakes.
I thought I was gonna go up there.
Yeah, you almost made it that far.
Oh, but I jumped off.
Pretty good. We figured out that this little clip is great for carrying things, like this radio bag. We can clip it on there and cruise over to the RC track to do some motos. This is actually how we use it the most over the summer. Be sure to check out my PSF RC channel if you want to see more of that. We are out testing the light and it actually works pretty well. Definitely seems like enough for getting around town or riding some mellow trails. If you're getting crazy, you might want a headlight as well on your helmet, but should do the trick for most people. It is probably better than most of the other lights that they typically include on units like this, so good to see that. You want to see the party mode?
It's a party mode?
Look at that action. We got colors. I tried to do a range test by using it normally with a bunch of short rides. After 12 miles, it was down to 38%, but when I went to take it out again, it dropped to 0. I don't think that would be the case for a lighter rider, but I was disappointed that's all I was able to get. I didn't get it on video, but we were both able to hit 40 miles an hour based on what the scooter said, but neither of us wanted to go that fast for very long since it got a little bit uncomfortable. Speaking of comfort, I was hoping it would be more enjoyable to ride on our lane, but all of the small bumps just make for a pretty shaky ride. It is not bad if you go slow or not very far, but it is not the farm cruiser that I was hoping. If you keep it on the right terrain, it can be a smooth and fun ride, so if you want to find out more about it or pick one up for yourself, you can check out the link in the description below. Thanks for watching.